Hello there folks, it's a Seiko StarCraft bringing you a pro replay. Seiko Margarita Craft actually, it's the summer of margaritas, that's what's going to be trendy this year, take it from me. Got a Revolver in the bottom right as a Zerg player up against Goody, and the top right is a Terran player. And it's a Goody game of Terran versus Zerg, so I know it's going to be a long one, so grab yourself a drink, buckle in, let's have a good time. Just kind of getting back into things, put a big delay on some content for a while, had some vacation, doing a little bit of stuff with my company and everything else like that because I'm a mature guy and I gotta do stuff with my life. But in between that, it's StarCraft. Trying to get out some replays. And I've been trying to play a little bit of ladder recently. We're so rusty, it's unbelievable. And then I play as Protoss and then the wins seem to come easy. That's just the way it is. Am I right? Yeah. But, been trying to watch as much StarCraft as possible when I can. Just seeing what is new and cool. What seems to be new and cool is that Terran isn't doing really good at the top levels. I was watching some GSL, Codas, the Terrans are dropping like flies, and it's the Zergs, a lot of knocking them out, and then the Zergs have trouble dealing with the Protoss, and so therefore we don't have a lot of Terran players making it far in tournaments. Strange when Terrans once upon a time used to be the race everybody said was the favorite of Blizzard, but it doesn't seem to be the case right now. Everything will mellow itself out though. I think there's some new patch changes in the works. Is that a whale? Oh, it's a shark. Vega Squadron. That just sounds kind of silly to me. But it's alright, I'm sure they think it's really, really cool. And it will be a hatch first. It is a 4-player map. Frost. You might as well be expanding. There's not too many reasons not to. Goody, on the other hand, is getting down his barracks, but there's no gas, so I'm expecting that big pile of minerals to be going into a command centre as soon as possible. He might be able to snipe an overlord, and that's what's really cool about this kind of opening, is that they always expect you to get the Reaper. The thing is, one Marine might not be able to take this out before it finds refuge. There's no refuge along this map until you get past the bases, though. So I think this overlord's gonna... No, take the low road. I think it might get away. Or he's gonna juke and jive. Vega Revolver. The juking and jiving. There's not another Marine on the way. So I think this Overlord's gonna get out of here. And I find that really exciting because there's not much else to say right now. Other than the Terran player has scouted where the Zerg player is as well. Which is obvious when you see an Overlord that's that close. And that Overlord will get away because this Marine... sleeping on the job. Command center going down though. Double gas is behind that because we know Goody. He's going to go straight into mech and make this into an interesting late game piece. And I respect that a lot. Some people have, if I sound like I'm underwater, it's because I'm just getting over a cold, so my nose is pretty plugged up. So I'm trying to drink as many margaritas as I can to get past that. Don't believe in the medicine, but I believe in the medicine of alcohol. No, don't take that advice. What was I talking about again there? Oh yes. The late game. I have such trouble with the late game because not a lot of games in Amateur League in a really intelligent way go there. When you're playing in, kind of gold and below, late game is still just like a mashup of randomness and who gets the bigger army out and go and crush stuff. But there's a really important strategy to late game that I've only really started to broach mostly with Terran and Zerg, whereas with Terran you want to really, if you're going against Zerg, kind of move into that Raven composition with your mechs. I like mech's awesome. Or, if you're a Zerg player, understand what kind of tech balances you can make between Broodlord, Ultralisk, and maybe even Swarmhost. If Revolver knows anything about Goody, he must know what he's going to go up against, so I'm interested to see if he's going to go for some early game pressure. There's no Roach Warren or anything, there's no gas at all, in fact. There's no gas and there's no third. Does that seem strange to anybody else? Well, I guess it's only the 6-minute mark. There's the gas. There's all the gas. That's kind of an interesting move. And looks like he's going to take a base right now. I have myself a raspberry margarita. Little Chambord. Little bit of pomegranate juice. It is super, super tasty. Though I need to get a better blender. I was a bartender once upon a time, and when I'd go to people's house parties, and they'd have like a giant stack of booze, like, Sean, because they don't call me Seiko StarCraft, make us a drink, and then I'd have to sit there and go through that. But if people give me the selection and the tools, I can make some pretty damn tasty things. Until I get a little bit more loaded, and then it just all tastes like booze, which tastes awesome to me. Scouts the timing of that third. Creep spreads on its way. Lots of queens out in the front. I love this strategy. He's up to 6 queens now. And I think that's a way a lot of amateur players should get used to playing. Double spores. He's doing this because he needs to make one for in the middle, and he wants to run one down to this base once it's built. Did he scout that? Are you gonna check his vision? No, he didn't scout that was coming. I think he just knows goodies play well enough to understand that that's the case. So you want those queens to be able to deal, obviously, with the banshees, but they deal with mass Hellion super well. If you're a Zerg player and you die to, you know, like 8 and 10 Hellion plays, get yourself about 6 queens, and you will live surprisingly well. You'll have a lot of transfuses. I mean, these have no energy for transfuses because they're moving creep. But if you have all these queens out and you're not moving creep like this because there's a ton of Hellions, those will keep you alive. Did I miss the Banshee? Oh, there it is. Ha. Oh, man. There's a bad rally time. These drones are forfeit. That's pretty unfortunate here for Revolver. Look at the supply difference as well. Losing so many units. I think the Banshee went down, but he lost 14 workers in that play. Roach is a little bit too late. He's making 13 more workers right now, so that's going to bring him up to, what, 60 in just a second? But still, that's a lot of cost that I'm sure he didn't want to put in at this stage. Time for the rest of the mech. 4 more factories going down to take him up to 5. He got all that damage done with 1 factory and 1 starport. So that's pretty good. Even though his opponent, I would consider, was prepared. He had the extra queens out and the spores in place. Nice shot from the high ground. Hellions can reach drones from the high ground up here. Could have probably got off a really good shot there. That's why you're starting to see a lot of Zerg players make a spine or 2 at the top. Just because you need that high ground vision to know if you're about to be attacked. I remember cannon rushing people at like the 20-minute mark as a Protoss player on this base. He's getting a few more. That puts our total up. Holy crap! 41 workers killed? Units wise, the Terran player is just slightly ahead right now, and that's just with a handful of Hellions. At least at a pro level, you can generally make your way back from something like that, though it'll take you like an hour to do so. As an amateur player, you lose 40 workers like at the 11-minute mark, you're just toast. There's a huge pile of roaches done. They've got +1. I believe they have speed. They're moving pretty darn quick. Yeah, they have speed. So we'll see. They might be able to deny the Terran third base, but there's Banshees overhead and tanks ready. There's no upgrades right now for the Terran mech at all, which is an interesting strategy. He's got the armories finished, but he hasn't put them into use yet. He's turning around, which means he's not going to be able to get the lift on this command center here. It's a great thing if you're going to open up with mech, particularly against Zerg player, getting out Banshees. Great way to stay ahead of the curve so you don't lose to something silly like this. It's so common now for, I still call it 2-base, but essentially the Zerg players just, oh wow. I didn't see that he had gotten ventral saction speed. Damn me and my abilities to watch the production tab. Okay. No, don't forget us. Now, how well will this work? There's 2 missile turrets here. The roaches will drop before those go into effect. The tanks are out of position. Oh, here we go. This is really exciting. This will probably equalize things great. Look at the supply right now. Revolver's got a pretty huge supply lead. I would like to see him drop a few of those in this mineral line, though. I know he just wants to go for the straight out crush. He might just get it. You don't see enough of this strategy in StarCraft. I think it's super effective. I believe this is a tournament game, so you're not going to see... Thanks, Hyun. That's hilarious. Yes, Hyun is a master of Roach and Hydra. But it doesn't look like Goody's ready to check out just yet. The command centers are still in place. The third is untouched. So I think he's going to have to back away, or at least save the overlords here. This is a very big commitment in by the Zerg player. And it's hold. Sorry, held. Command center did get lifted. Oh, he's going for the third now. Now he should be able to get in a good chunk of damage here. Even if he pulls the workers. He's going to go for the workers first. He can always lift the command center. The tank is actually doing quite a bit of damage to his own SCVs there for a moment. Snipes the high ground tank. That was really smart. Alright, let's survey damage. You got 33 workers killed against a 10. Units wise, not a giant difference, 52 to 40. Still, it's 3 base to, well, essentially 3 base. A lot of overlords are probably going to go down here. And Goody's playing mech. He's ready and willing to just sit and play a long-ass game to get back into this. But you do need the 3 bases worth of gas to really make that happen. I like the high ground missile turret too. That's a nice touch. Kills another bunch. He will stay to kill the gas off. You do want to do that if you're playing against a meching player. Double Banshees, 8 kills and 8 kills. Thems are working well. So Goody's got to go. Oh wow, this is a smart way to do that. If you're playing against a meching player, for whether or not you do the damage, if you're playing against an opponent and you know he's going mech, take the map, take everything you can. Spread your creep, build up your economy so it's untouchable, because you might have to base trade against mech. If you can't break the mech, understand that it's a good chance that you're just going to have to outlast the mech. Overlords are going to move around. If he's putting one, hopefully on every single base, this way he'll be able to scan. The poop of the creep, I think, is a little bit off where that's supposed to be. 4 more hatcheries going up. I don't think he needs 4 more hatcheries, but take the base. If you ever have to sacrifice your main or something, you can do that. Getting a Spire out right now, using mobility to his advantage. Goody. He's getting back into it, right? Almost up to 50 workers. His opponent just made a giant batch. 10 more on the way. But these bases are already starting to get pretty mined apart. He's not got anybody mining back here. A lot of supply calldowns as well. Terran at least has the opportunity to say, oh, F, I'm supply blocked. Drop a supply calldown. Other races do not have such opportunities. There's not much you can do against as a Zerg player. That's why I think the Mutas is a great play. If he's going for Mutas, he's going double Spire, so I'm hoping it's Mutas. Come in, snipe what you can, be as cost effective as possible, because you know that your opponent is going to slow push across the map. This is pretty cool. I think what he wants to do is drop a creep tumor over here. Doesn't have the energy for it right now though. Big pile of roaches. The supplies are pretty similar, but I can understand that because I believe that what Revolver really wants to do is go for a big tech switch. So he's waiting, and there's his Mutas. He's waiting to max out on something new. And if you've got enough money, these aren't even a bad idea. At least the building and the creep will take a long time to dissipate. We'll be dropping a creep tumor soon. Creep's almost all the way up here. It is interesting to see somebody not want to go swarm host the gate mech. And this might be because, you know, Revolvers have a lot of experience. I'm not sure. But if you were to go swarm host right now against this composition, it wouldn't do that much for you. It might keep him pinned in his base a little while, yada yada. This is smart. 15 kills up on that guy. Mutas are out now though. 13 kills. There's no detection over here, I don't think. Yeah, he didn't even kill these guys. I think he's waiting for an overseer to morph or something. Lots of spores down at this base. I like margaritas. They're fantastic. So this is good smart play, at least out of Goody, to keep himself moving in this. Lots of creep moving down here. He will have to come and try to clean this area out. He needs another base pretty soon. Obviously gas is the most important thing for him. These gases still have another, 5 minutes probably on them. I believe he cleaned up all of the banshees. And he knows that it's mutas that are out now. Lots of Thors. Thors have 2-2, which means that the air also has 2-2. These mutas are just 1-1, so they will get shredded to pieces. Lots of roaches over here that are also only 1-1. A little bit delayed on the upgrades here out of Revolver. And you see Goody's got a huge supply lead, but he can't really move out. Only he can do that now is because he's close to maxed. But he knows as soon as he moves out, these mutas are in a position to counter. There's not that many missile turrets. Against the 2-2 mech, I don't think these roaches can really tangle. So I'm interested to see what Revolver wants to do now. He's got a ton of supply to use. He's got a huge bank. But he hasn't really decided what to do with it yet. It looks like he's going to try to snipe down this command center. There's a lot of room for damage to be done with these mutas if he wanted to go base trady. He's got Burrow in place. That's kind of cute. But he'll still get rolled by this mech. 28 more mutas. There's the tech switch I was looking for. $43 mutas. You're not kidding. Well, that's one way to deal with it. He did snipe that command center. And it looks like he has to build another one here. Doesn't want to ship out the one from the main yet. He's still got gas to mine. Just trying to be as efficient as possible with his army. Even with magic boxing all of these Thors, I still don't think that would be the right play. It looks like he's going to try it though. I would rather see him go base trade than try to take out the army, personally. But that might be enough mutas. They only have 1-1 though. That's so many mutas. 10 more on the way. What's he about to be up to? He is about to be like, what, 60? There's the magic box as best as he can. Looks like it's gonna work. I didn't think he needed to do it this way, but it will work out. That's just enough brute crap to throw at somebody. And that kind of mellows out the supply. They're evened up pretty good. Zerg player lost a bunch of bases, but he still has this. He's pooping creep everywhere that the Terran player might be, and he knows that there's no fourth yet. So he's in a pretty good spot. Goody, on the other hand, has lost a lot of very expensive mech tech. Sounds cool, doesn't it? Now it's just up to the Zerg player, who should be investing in more upgrades for these units, to just go and do the right damage. He's still down in supply, interestingly enough. I don't think he wants to run straight head into these Thors, though. Oh, is he going to? I'm actually kind of surprised. I heard Widowmine's burrow, so it's probably good he didn't go in there. But look at the supplies. Goody's up by a lot right now. All that bank, particularly the mineral bank, went straight into all those mutas. And what he really needs to be doing is harassing with these. There's no other units down here to kill. I'd like to see him at least picking away at some of these buildings. Now that this base is up and mining, Goody's still in this. If you look at his supply and his army and his bank. Yeah, he doesn't have the whole map, but he's playing mech. He's playing cost effective. He can get it done. I do like the Widow Mines in here. It's nice to have 3. 3 will generally take out a whole whack of mutas in one shot. More widow mines over here. More command centers. And you can see this is very delayed for Goody. Generally, as a Terran meching player, you want those out quite early in the game, so you're using a lot of mules and scans. Goody's almost max. Revolvers still got 50 supply to go. Very interesting. Finally getting more upgrades. He wants to stick to that air composition. Going to send out a few changelings to see where things are at. But I still feel like he's very vulnerable right now. It's interesting that it cost the widow mines to take this out. Like, yes, he could lose some stuff to these widow mines. He does have overseers with this. Like, start doing damage. I think he's giving Goody way too much respect here. One widow mine got off. You can see a lot of yellow mutalisks there. Very quick snipe. Widow mine gets triggered on the overseers. Oh, it's getting very bunched up. Be careful. I hear a bunch of scans going down. I don't know if that means Goody's on his way out, but when you got a maxed army, it's not often you're going to leave a game. Mutas will get away. Revolver's 17 more mutas on the way. He's going to stick with that muta comp. He did snipe one of the more important bases. The other ones are all essentially mined out. Even the gas is getting mined completely out for both of these. 4 workers in there, but who cares at this point? Army is moving out now. It does have 2-2. 3-3 was delayed so he can build his army back up again, but we'll be done here soon. Same with 2-2 as well. Let's see if he magic boxes again over these Thors. He may. Oh, he caught some Thors out in the open here. Great pick off. Still lots of Thors, but the splash damage is where they really shine. Vega is not, Revolver's not trading well. You can see his supply is way below Goody's, but he's still got map control and a good economy. It's a very interesting style to play to go against mech, just pure muta, because it's so fragile. Like one miscontrol, one big pile of units that go into a bunch of volleys from Thors, and it's just done. It's just over. So I'm impressed to see him doing this kind of strategy. Bunch more mutas on the way. Goody still has a supply lead. He's got this base up and going again. So it's difficult for Revolver to really close this out. I would even be okay with just building a few Zerglings just to run around, do some small damage, and use up some of the minerals. I don't know, when I play Zerg against a Terran mech, I like having just, like 8 to 12 Zergling hit squads. You run around, throw them into a base, do some damage, pick off some, missile turrets. Oh, he moves the other direction, come around, pick off some other buildings. And you can do that when you have a very mobile army. Picks off a couple of pesky widow mines in the middle of the map. Still a few more dangling around. Goody's still up by a good chunk of supply. And if I was in Goody's shoes, I would not expect that I'd be up in supply. I'd expect that I'd be a long ways away. It's also, if you notice, very good to have overseers as part of your army because they take a lot of shots. As opposed to your important mutas taking shots. So many Thors. And I still don't know who I really think is in the lead here. Goody still has better upgrades, better army supply. He's got economy, but it's almost run out. Zerg has way better economy. I'm surprised there's no blue flame. He's got way better economy, but his unit composition is essentially Mutalisk. He hasn't even built any spines in any of these areas to deal with these Hellions. The Hellion run-bys are a really smart move by Goody there. Use up some of the minerals he has, whereas he doesn't have much gas. These tanks are a little oh, never mind. They're with the Thors. I was going to say, that doesn't make any sense to me. So now I think the Zerg player is willing to go base trade. There's too many +3 Thors. You can take out these missile turrets a lot easier. He's splitting up again, which I think is a little bit of a mistake. After he's seen his opponent is perfectly fine to go and magic box armies. He's He's bringing his Thors back. If these mutas all die, this game is essentially over. That's all that Revolver has, is these mutas. And they're starting to go down really bad. Already leaves the game. I can't even blame, like, I have to blame Revolver for losing that. I think he lost that game. Goody won it, but just pushing through. I think Revolver could have gone for something else, other tactics other than just pure muta to try to deal with this army. Even if he went into Broodlord or something like that, go Greater Spire. There's no Vikings on the map. Use your mulas to take out the Vikings, use the Broodlords, the Broodlings to cut off the Thors. Anyways, great game by Goody, long game, Sego StarCraft, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to everybody later.